And our comic book friends, I'm Travis, and it's New Comic Book Day. Well, at least New Comic Book Day for me. Looking at my invoice here, it looks like I have 19 books this week. So let's see what we got here. Right off the bat, Unsound, the final issue of Unsound. This is issue number 5. Get the whole razor blade thing going on there. It's been kind of a interesting running theme through the story with our main character. Really love this cover because it looks like this character is literally made up of knives, knife blades, sharp edges. So we're looking forward to the final issue of the Unsound. It's been a really fun suspense horror kind of a book and whatnot. Cullen Bunn written, wonderful Jack T. Cole on the art. That's really the big seller there, I think, for that book. So I'm looking forward to reading that and seeing how it ends. Another book that is ending is the Victor Lovaza, The Destroyer, issue number 6. I think we're going to get the final battle of the original Frankenstein monster, the latest in the incarnation of Frankenstein monster, which runs more on nanobots. It's the basically reanimated son of the last heir of Frankenstein, and he was 12, and seems to be that he was killed in a an arrest incident where here seemingly lately in the United States, or more broadcasted than before. It's probably always been happening, to be quite honest. Young black youth, unarmed black youth being killed by police. So that's kind of the underpinnings of it. We'll see. There was some issues that have been in kind of more of emotional pulls, and some of that has been more monster fight. We'll see how this ends. I'm really curious to see, how it ends. There's lots of bits and pieces of the premise that I really like. Some parts have been executed better than other parts, but still it's been enjoyable. Batgirl, issue number 16. More of the Summer of Lies. Beware the Red Queen's Revenge. Oh, I love that cover. It's a great looking cover. So it's been kind of a, I don't know, almost a horror story in a sense, because we're in October and that's the kind of thing, right? In the fact it's that we know what you did last summer, except for this was back when Dick and Bab were first starting out as superheroes. Something that they did, and people they arrested or helped or that sort of stuff, we're not exactly sure yet, have come back from the past, to haunt them. They're messing with the Mad Hatter and some of that other stuff. So it's been really good. Like I always say, Hope Larson continues to write a super solid Batgirl story that I really enjoy. Wild Goose, perfect artist for this book. He has the right amount of superhero flair mixed with the newer style of art that is more expressive and fun and youthful. I do really, really enjoy it for the book. Next up, we have the next issue of Detective Comics, 976. More of the Lonely Place of Living. Last issue we are introduced to this future Tim Drake. Okay, maybe not from our future kind of thing. So that's kind of putting some weird stuff in motion. They did some name dropping of some heroes in the last issue that haven't existed in the DC universe since the New 52. So yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. It's been okay. I actually didn't mind so much the Tim Drake ish story last issue. As we all know, not my favorite character. So we'll see. But here, this is such a great tease. Yeah, they're going to shoot him in the head. Of course, we know that's not going to happen because that would make my day. But anyway, it has been a fun book, so we'll see where it goes. Oh, it's a thick one. So what is it? Oh, yes. The House of Horror. DC always seems to put out a Halloween special, and they also put out a Christmas book every year. I always get them. I just kind of enjoy them. It's full of, lots of, weird one-shots and whatnot. I don't know what I think of this cover, though. Not the greatest cover in the world. Super thick, square bound, I know that a lot of people talked about the price being prohibitive, which I can totally agree with there. $9.99 if you bought it. I got it 50% off, so $4.99 for me. So that still makes it manageable, but but definitely that's a spendy price tag. Looking forward to it. I know there's some Everly Blisk artwork in here, so I'm excited for that. Alone, I think she does some art on some Wonder Woman stuff. Yeah, it'll be fun. Check it out. Excuse me. I'm suffering from a cold too. We'll see if I edit that out or not. Depends on how lazy I'm feeling. But anyway, yeah, got a bit of a cold going on, so yeah. Okay, next up we have Hellblazer, issue number 15. The inspiration game. I just wish this comic had some inspiration. Team Seeley writing it right now. Marino on art. I'm just not excited anyway about it so far. It just hasn't been very good. I want it to be something more special than what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next writer that's on the book. Next writer is supposed to be a novelist. We'll see what they bring, what kind of game they bring to it, and then I may be done after that. I don't know. I'm just not. To me, there are comics that do this story better, I feel like, and there's been prior Hellblazer stuff that's been really good. This should be closer to that than what it is. I was hoping that Tim Seeley would bring that to it. He hasn't really, and I don't feel like that they're getting decent artists, the right kind of moody artists on the book to really make it shine. It's basically more along the lines of feels more like a visually like a superhero book, and I don't want it to be visually a superhero book. Then you do something that makes it different than that, because it's not a straight superhero book, right? So anyway, book that'll go at the bottom of the pile, of course, is the Kamandi Challenge, issue number 10 of 12. Pac the writing, Davis on art. I don't know who did this cover, but I like the cover. I don't know. Anyway, I haven't been enjoying this all so much. I just, yeah, this is where the collector part kicks in. I'm more of a reader collector, but sometimes a collector. I'm just going to finish this out, kind of a thing. Maybe I'll sit down and read the whole thing all in one shot at some point and see if I really enjoy it that way. Just how, this is way too long for the gimmick that is what it is. This whole, writer have to pick up out the creators having to pick up after the last creators to write themselves out of the hole that those creators put them in, and then they put it in a hole for the next set of creators to do. I don't know. It's a cool idea maybe for a few issues, but not for the length of time that this has gone on, for sure. Okay, next up we have Mother Panic. This is issue number 12. Really looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing how it is. Jody Houser's been writing a great book here. Love this character. I love Violet a lot. Love her surroundings. Love her approach to Gotham and this so-called superheroing and all of that. Some great Sean Crystal artwork in this one. We'll see how it all, how it all, I think this is the last issue for a little bit. Not 100% sure on that, but I haven't been seeing it around in orders here recently. So I think they're all getting to issue 12 and they're all pausing. And then there's going to be, early in 2018, there's the Milk Run Wars or something like that. Some weird thing where it's going to be some crossover between some of the Young Animals books and some of the regular DC universe books. Curious to see how that goes. And then I'm hoping that means that there's going to be more coming after this. Because I had heard Lee Edwards, the guy who does most of the covers, I had heard that I'd seen him on Twitter saying that he was writing and doing the art for an arc. So that we clearly haven't seen that yet. So be curious to see when we might see that, or if we're going to see that. I have no idea. But I hope this book continues along. It still continues to probably be my favorite Bat book, if you have to put it into the Bat book stuff. I just really like it quite a bit. So there's that. Saga, of course, will go to the top of the pile. This is issue 48. And I know that this is kind of a side story. We're going to get an adventure between Gus and Squire back there, Prince Forth's son, right? So gonna be an adventure with them. Should be fun. Cute little seal guy with a big battle axe. Them going on an adventure. Always looking forward to it. And I think this is the last issue. Now there'll be a big break after this. So curious to see if they leave us with some sort of crazy cliffhanger or something like that, because Saga typically does when it takes its break. Wonder Woman. More of the times past. Grail against the gods. So it's got some new goddish type stuff going on in this. This is the Robinson written story. I did not enjoy last issue. The more I go back to the last issue, I like it less and less every time I go back to it. When I start looking into the fact that Wonder Woman basically is being led around by the nose through the whole book by a bunch of men. She's basically listening to their instructions and all of that. And that's not what the Woman book comic book should be about. You can argue that point with me if you want to. That's fine, whatever. But I feel like that the icon that Wonder Woman has become, the icon that Wonder Woman represents, to pay due respect to the character, that it should be, if not at least character driven by her. Because there's a question about the New 52. Brian Orazio Wonder Woman was actually told around her, but the character at least needs to be defined. She needs to be defining herself, and I think in the Orazio book she was defined by herself. This story, she is being defined by the men around her, and I just don't think that's appropriate for the book. So I am dropping it. I'll get a few more issues before it's done. Probably like 4 more issues, I would guess, because it's double shipped. But until new and inspired creators get on the book, I'll be done with Wonder Woman for now, unfortunately. So Angelic issue number 2. I really didn't care that much for issue number 1, so I'm curious to see how issue number 2 plays out for me. I have not put it on my poll. If suddenly this issue changes everything for me, I'll have to scramble to try and get the next issue is back on my poll. I'm somewhat suspicious that that's not going to be the case, but I will be happily surprised if that's what it is. So we'll see with that. Samurai Jack issue number 2. This is the Quantum Jack. It's going to be like a 6-issue miniseries, I believe. Just some fun stuff. I really like the first issue. The Johnson Cadwell art just really works for Samurai Jack type story. All the kind of craziness that goes on in it. So I had a lot of fun with the first issue, so I'm looking forward to seeing where the next issue goes to as far as that goes. The final issue of Rebels. This is the Green Mountain Boys. Is this story that's in this one? Brian Wood, of course, has been writing all of these. This is Joan Ergel, I believe, is doing the art on the book. I've really been enjoying this kind of quasi-historical fiction set in the Revolutionary War. It's been enjoyable. Like I said, this is the final issue of this chunk of the book, and I don't know if they have planned for more down the road or not. This is these free and independent states. I know that the artist who typically does the book is on some independent books right now, so I don't know if that's why there's another break or what, or if we'll ever see anymore. I don't know how this sells at all. But I kind of like it. I like the kind of historical fiction that it is. Yes, Fujitsu. Issue number 2 from Aftershocks Comics. Issue number 1 is just kind of a fun, goofy, sci-fi-esque kung fu flick of a comic. I would expect that this is going to be the same way. It would be the same. So I'm really curious to see how it all plays out. Main character is a boy who's 130 years old, but he's still a boy. Excuse me. He is going to be fighting against a villain who has recreated into in the form of a samurai sword the equivalent of the Spear of Destiny. And the Spear of Destiny is a recreation of an artifact that was around earlier. It just every generation or every millennia, it gets recreated. And in this case, now it is a samurai sword that was forged by zombies in Hiroshima as the bombs were being dropped. The nuclear bomb is what they use for the heat to bend and fold the metal. So just some kind of crazy, wild stuff. So looking forward to seeing what that has in it, how that transpires and whatnot. Book I'm always looking forward to, Deadly Class. This is issue number 31. Looks like we're having a serious rock and roll party here. Looks like a lot of fun. They're down in Mexico. I'm assuming we're going to deal with Mexico issue in some sense or another. Just really curious to see how that all plays out. Seems how some people are supposed to be dead. Or they've suddenly discovered they're not dead. Are they going to find out exactly at some point how Marcos is going to find out how bad of a backstabber Petra was, because she's kind of turned over a new leaf, kind of a thing, and just lots of craziness going on. So it's going to be lots and lots of fun, for sure. The Damned, issue number 5. Yes, issue number 5. Looking forward to this. Just looking forward to seeing who sold their souls and how the kind of gangster-esque-ness of this book, how the deals on the sides work out, and who's going to come out on top. Looking forward to seeing that and exploring that with these characters quite a bit. But enjoying it. Awesome Brian Hurt artwork in there for sure. Copperhead is back. Issue number 15. Kind of the crap is hitting the fan in this issue, I believe. Our sheriff's ex-husband, who's also like supposedly super dangerous interstellar criminal, is showing up on the planet that she's on, that she's trying to be a sheriff on. Another ex-boyfriend is kind of there. Her son is in some level of distress. There's some more murders going on. Just everything that's happening is happening all at once. Her ex-deputy is, of course, the mayor of Copperhead now, and she's not sure if that's going to be putting some heat on her or exactly what's going on there. So just all kinds of craziness. It's going to be some good fun in there, I bet. Next up, we have the BPRD, The Devil You Know, issue number 3. Good old Howard there, leaping in with his ancient sword, whacking away on some crickets or something, probably. So yeah, Lawrence Campbell artwork, Dave Stewart colors. I'm just really looking forward to it, to see what it is. I think we finally get the team back together. It's been super, super long since the BPR team, or what's left of them, get back together. When I say the team, basically it's mostly Liz Sherman and Abe Sapien are now back together, and they haven't been back together again for years now. So really curious to see how that plays out. What are they going to do? Are they going to continue with the BPRD, their missions and whatnot? How does the UN play into this now as the world is kind of trying to attempt to be rebuilt, and there's lots of different other kinds of politics now, so there's plenty of new types of stories to be told. So I'm really looking forward to checking all of that out. Excited to have that Magnolia Universe stuff back. And finally this week we have Black Crown Quarterly. Of course, last week we talked Kid Lobotomy, which is the first of the Black Crown imprint, and the Black Crown imprint is part of IDW, but that was the first book. The Black Clown Quarterly is supposed to talk about a compendium of all things comics, culture, and cool, is what it says on the cover. It's supposed to kind of give us a look at the Black Crown universe, for lack of any other type of a thing to call it. And supposedly, my understanding is they kind of have a shared universe. So all these stories we're seeing in this different stuff all have some shared quality. Whether we'll actually see that in the individual books, I have no idea. I prefer the probably don't. But the quarterly book is definitely going to show us that shared universe in some sense, I think. I have no idea what it all is in this. I am a big Shelley Bond fan. Shelley Bond is the curator of Black Crown. She worked for Vertigo Comics for most of the Vertigo era. And I think she lots of times has a strong vision. So I am looking forward to seeing what she has helped curate to bring this about. So I'm really curious to get to read this and check it out. Plus the fact I like anthologies and quarterlies and that sort of thing. So especially if this is really a quarterly where I'm going to get it every 4 months. That'll be awesome. So, anyway, that's it. That's my books. I plan to read some books. I should be here, unless my cold kills me. I should be here tomorrow, Saturday, to talk some comics and Comic Book Roundtable. Maybe we'll see some of you there. And anyway, have a great weekend, and I will see you whenever.